What's up, everybody? It is GLC Fast Food. I'm going to get a deck profile and a gameplay here in about 5 minutes. It might be a little bit longer, and that's because I'm celebrating Lightning Week. So for the first type for the week, we're looking at the most controversial type. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it mid? I think it's somewhere in between. I think Lightning Spread is a good anti-meta strategy that kind of depends on the matchups that you hit, and that the meta for Journey Together, looking at whales and colorless, it's going to be a little bit better. Here's how I play it. Here's another controversial thing. There's people that think it's solved. Maybe it is. I'm not that invested in Lightning to say one way or another, but I'm not afraid to tell you this is how I play it. So currently I have the Electivire that does 50 to everything, and then you clean it up with the Raichu and the Regieleki. I think one thing everyone can agree on is Electivire and Regieleki are good. Most people probably agree you should play this Tapu Koko that has free retreat and does 20 everywhere. Most people would agree Double Dynamotor and Zebstrika as your draw engine. Where people will not agree, and I can see why, is this Raichu. So this Raichu cleans up everything that has damage. The problem is it's easy to play around, but of course that's also Spread's problem in general. I feel like the deck kind of needs more power. I'm trying to hit the right matchups anyway. So while I'll need to dodge things like Monkey Dory Psychic, maybe Psychic with Giratina in general, it's just one of those risks I'm taking right now. Another thing that's weirdly controversial is this Zapdos. I like it because it's not just the donk potential, it actually just sets up the math so that way you can do 80 plus then the 50s to clean things up. But really the sweeper and the best thing after the Electivire is this Regieleki. You want to recycle that a couple times. I think most people will say I'm greedy. Hopefully not on my consistency. You know I love my consistency, and we're going to try to get as many of our dudes here as we can. So we have Battle VIP Pass and Poffin, but then we have 3 supporters to find it. So both Greens, Arven, and Volkner will get you into the game, and then all just the good cards to be able to find things. Another thing that I do differently, I'm not entirely sold on it, but there's a lot of Evo lines. So in addition to Evolution Incense and Evo Soda, I actually have Guzma and Holly here, as well as Evo TM. And that's because a lot of times if I'm not swinging with Zapdos, I just want to set up my board. We have 3 evolutions that are our support team, and then we have 2 evolution attackers. So suffice to say, it's pretty important. Speaking of evolutions, I missed another hot take. I like Luxray. So if you're behind on prizes, which I'm playing spread, I'm normally going to, I can use Swelling Flashlight, can come in, and then it does 180. So, you know, sometimes if you have a Snorlax or an Okidogi, something that you just need to put 180 on the board, boom, it does it for you. Reversal is also just really good because it goes with Electivire and Raichu. So skipping ahead a little bit down to my special energies, I play Counter Energy, Recycle, Reversal, Speed, as well as Special Charge. That's something you won't see in other things, but Counter and Reversal are just broken cards, so being able to recycle them is good, especially because the Zebstrika will sometimes discard them when they're not ready, or it makes them go onto the wrong target because you're going to yeet your hand away and you just need to get them back. Even in a worst case scenario, if you're just recycling speed energy, drawing 2 with your attachment is pretty dang good. Aside from that, we have the staples, but if you're new to Electric Spread, you sort of have to play Silent Lab, Lusamine, and Hex. That makes sure that you get around Bench Barrier. Truthfully, Manaphy is not too much of a problem for this. And other than that, just pretty much good cards to get you into the game. Now let's go see a game courtesy of Twin Leaf. Okay, so here we have myself playing Lightning Spread versus Akko, who's playing his famous Turbo Metal deck. If you haven't already, check out his deck list. I'll have it down below. One of the coolest ways to play Metal, super fast and aggressive while still being beat stick. So I just have an Electabuzz, attach, go to Mareep, pass. Pretty humble turn. You know, there's no VIP, there's no Poffin. He has his best starter, which is Jirachi. What I love about spread decks is you can punish those best starters. That 70 HP looks really tasty, whether it's going to be a Zapdos or something else. The Twin Leaf looking card you can't see is Bronzer. He needs to be able to get into the game. He's playing the 70 HP, which is the new one, which is why you can't see the image, and that's fine. I'm looking to get into the Zapdos here with the Flaffy, and then I'm also just able to set up the Electabuzz. So that looks good. We have a clean research for 7. You love to see it. I had the slow start setting up my bench, but was able to get around with the escape rope, and that's because I want to leave the 70 HP there. Like I said, it's kind of tasty. Sure, it lets him use it more, but I'm just sort of okay with that. He's setting up his board, but doesn't have any energy on board. So I'm going to my Evolution Incense here. Going to be able to set up the Electivire. And just looking like a good turn. We're getting into the Electivire. We're setting up. We're doing the Hex. And boom. The Hex here is crucial too because it actually doesn't just turn off the Bronzong. It turns off Well, I was going to say it turns off the Zamzenta, but there's no energy on it. But sometimes you got to be mindful of cards like Silent Lab and Hex because they'll have those extra benefits. So we get the Pikachu down, we get the attachment set up. Good board, this is what you want to see. Of course, this is where you're weak to Parallel and Avery. So as Lightning, this is where you have to be careful. This shows the strength of Akko's deck. He set up that Zamzenta out of nowhere thanks to Crispin. Really cool engine. I'm obsessed with Akko's metal deck. So here I'm going to be able to set up my board a little bit, get the Tap Coco there, so if my air balloon gets field blowered, then I have another free retreat, and I'm able to clean up with the Raichu. This is where the Raichu is good, you know, it just is able to capitalize it because that's 52 turns twice over, so that's where it's able to do some good things. He gets down the Metal Core Barrier. I think that's an underrated card in Metal, by the way, Metal Core Barrier. Akko and I have talked quite a lot about that. And that's one of the things I like about Twin Leaf too, is Akko and I have talked the most in this last week just because we play hours of games with each other. So great way to be able to meet other people. He goes with the escape rope. I send up a sacrificial Zapdos. I'm not too worried about that going down there. He gets his Fighting Fury belt. So, you know, the tankiness of metal you can really see between the Metal Core Barrier and that. You could even see he played the Lana's Rod, so he's able to get that Metal Core Barrier back in the deck, burning through the Turbo Energize, doing the Field Blower, and then now he's selecting his prize card, which is the Guzman Hala. I go into my turn, and I'm level balling to get my second Dynamotor online. Probably going to be powering up that Regieleki. I can go into the teammates here, put down the Silent Lab, so that way I can finish off the Zamzenta. What I alluded to earlier, I was just a little bit ahead of myself, I suppose, is that now, instead of doing just 10 damage, because of the damage reduction, it does the full 40, so that really, really is a difference maker. That thing was loaded up with energy. That thing would have been doing 220. And then here it's probably just going to be game. So, you know, we wiped out his board. And that's probably a thing that I think people underrate with spread, is especially when you can get going like this, you're able to just really clear the board pretty quickly. And Zapdos, I think, is going to clean up the game here. It's 10 short, that's right. But I think that was really my only move. So he gets one more turn, and then Zapdos just boop, pokes Thunderous Assault for 10. So quick game, but that shows the true power of being able to set up quick. And we'll have a whole week so you can see some other Lightning games on both sides. I personally like the type. And like I said, I don't know if I'm playing it the right way, but I don't care. This is what I like, and I'm digging it. Let me know your thoughts on Lightning. Let me know how it's contested at your locals, and let me know what your build is. Thanks for watching.